city of Philly, where the birds take flight. Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. The Bald Eagles are back in the building. What's going on, Tone?
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, my guy? Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channels, plural channels. Subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge to the game. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm your guy, Tone. This show's the second. This is the Bald Eagles podcast, the one and only Bald Eagles podcast, the one and only you should be paying attention to. That is the Bald Eagles podcast. Marcus, you know, it took us about 10 minutes to get back on road. We was behind the scenes chatting a little bit. It's the Wild Wild West over there in New York. The Wild Wild West.
Everybody that was a part of my stream at lunch, me and Tone was I was filling him in on the events of this afternoon and the conversation. The conversation got a little intense. It was very poignant. What's the word? Poignant? I don't know.
No, you're right. Poignant. You're right. Poignant.
Yeah, very poignant. Poignant and pointed. So it was yeah, it put some things in perspective for me about how we go about our business as fans, how we go about our business knowing somebody's always watching.
Somebody is always watching.
Bruh, I will never forget this. I was teaching youth Bible study at my church. And I used to deal with a lot of high school kids, and we had this one girl. She was responsible for all her little cousins and brothers and sisters. So sometimes she would come in with like 3 and 4, 2, 3, and 4-year-olds. Well, she had a little toddler with her. So she always brought them over to my class.
Right.
Where we were. And I was like, I don't care. As long as you keep them and watch them, I ain't got no problem. So I'm up, I'm teaching, I'm very demonstrative, walking back and forth with my hands, that sort of thing. And I look down and the baby is mimicking me, walking back and forth, doing stuff with his hands. And immediately I stopped. And I was like, look at that. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. And whether you want it or not, somebody's going to do what you do. Somebody's going to mimic what you're doing. So what type of example are you setting? That's where it ended up going. I don't even think that's what the lesson was about. But after that moment, I was like, oh, we got to switch this up. And that's what I thought of when I saw all of that stuff going on in New York. I was like, And then I threw in, my spin on the AI technology and what they're doing with it and things of that nature. And I was like, you got to be careful. Got to be careful these days.
Oh, listen, that's why I have a hard time understanding. I have a hard time understanding why people want to be criminals in 2026. Personally,
man.
Like, look, listen, get it how you live, right? I don't judge a soul, but I do look at you funny in the light. and I gotta say, in 2026, I don't understand or get or even comprehend how people can be committing crimes, with without even having to, right? You know, everyone's circumstances are different. You never know.
Yeah.
But with as many cameras, with as many cell phones, as many ring doorbells, with all the cameras on the street lights, and the speeding cameras, and the security cameras on the outside of stores and on the inside of stores, and the cameras on the ATM machines. What else? I'm trying to think. Cameras. It's cameras on every little thing.
Every nook and cranny.
Every little thing. These little kids, little play tablets that don't got all the features as the adults. It gets a camera on there.
Yeah.
You know,
isn't it funny? Isn't it funny, Tone? Everybody, in every state, every town is trying to fight against them building a damn data center. What you think they house in those data centers? The data centers are what feed the AI.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's
there you go.
Everything we do, everything we watch, data is being consumed. Whether we realize it or not, we're providing data marks, data points, data sets to some centralized data center.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do, down to when you wake up in the morning, what app you click, what kind of app you use for your alarm clock.
Oh, absolutely, bro.
Every time you swipe your debit card, every time you tap somewhere, your purchases are being cataloged in someone's data center. And at that point, that's how they're funneling the perfect ads to your algorithm. They're keeping that's actually, a lot of people don't know, that's actually why, and we're going to get to the sports talking a little bit, but this is kind of coincides. A lot of people don't know, or have you ever wondered why Walmart doesn't have Apple Pay yet?
Yeah, I know why.
I imagine you would know.
Yeah.
But for the average Joe, and I may butcher it myself, but one of the reasons that Walmart doesn't have the Apple Pay, Google Pay, you know, the touch features is because Walmart doesn't want to share their data with all those different,
with everybody,
with Apple and Google, and
if you share it with one, you share it with all.
They don't want to share their data with those people. They don't want to, because Walmart probably has one of the most, outside of Amazon, they probably have one of the most lucrative data centers or catalogs of data in terms of their consumers, because they're a big box store.
Right.
So
and they got their own Apple Pay system.
So the way they see it, they're not going to cut you in on the action. They're not going to let you know what their consumers are buying, so on and so forth. They're not going to allow you to pull them or pull people away from their stores. Like it's a reason why Walmart doesn't have.
They are one of the few companies that can afford to do that.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great point. Not many companies can afford to push back against the touch features.
Well, watch this.
Or contactless. So let me say that, like contactless.
Were you aware of the situation that happened with Pokemon?
Are you talking about with the Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
They were using that data to locate. Were they using it to locate criminals?
We mapped out the entire United States with Pokemon Go.
Yes.
I worked at Apple at the time, and they had one of those. What did they call them things? The centers in the game. There was like a hub where you could go.
Oh, the Pokemon Center.
They had one of those right in front of the Apple store in Cherry Hill where I work. So we would always see kids in front of our store with their phones, but they had everybody. I remember News Stories 2020. Everybody was playing Pokemon Go. It's a great way to get outside. You can walk around with your kids, and they put the banana in the tailpipe on us, bro. Mm-hmm. We mapped out the United States for somebody else, for a foreign country,
because
all they didn't realize it.
Because all they had to do is
track the data.
Not just track the data, but layer a map over top of the data points they've accumulated, and that's how they map it. Quite literally, because it's It's using location. It's all these apps are tracking our location.
Exactly.
They're either tracking your location, or the app is asking to track your activity.
Uber, Uber Eats,
Mm-hmm.
all the ride shares and Lyft and all of that type of stuff. Do you know right now? I just saw it the other day. There is a AI prompt that you can use that will tell you tell the prompt, it will pull a location from Google Maps and it will animate it like you just did a fly through. So what that means is you have the geographical data. That means that in the map, you got 3D models that accurately represent what is actually there. And then the AI puts it all together and animates a fly through. When I was still playing football, like one of the times when I got cut and I was in between camp and going back to play again, I got a job with this company and we used to do, they called it GIS systems, geographical informational systems. So what we would do was, at the time, the guys would go up and take aerial photography of different places. And we would take these huge pictures and overlay it in CAD. And we would say, okay, this road, we would trace the roads and say, this road is a 4-lane highway. This is not a road. This is a 24-inch pipe system for aqueduct. So we would do like that. And every line had a code to it, and every code had data. So you know what line was a street, what line was a highway. That was the beginning of that. Now all of it's in 3D. You can see it in real time. You can fly in it. If you go to not Google Maps, if you've ever used, and I've used it, but there's a program called Google Earth. It's free.
Yeah.
Google Earth gets real, really real. And it only gets better. It only gets better.
Listen, I'll tell you this. Eagles fans, from this point forward, with everything being behind us, things get better. Things get better.
I want to put a thumbs up in the chat if you still know how to use the paper map.
Oh, why are you doing that?
Listen.
I at least grew up in an era where you had to print out the maps, print out the directions.
I got an atlas. I keep an atlas in my car to this day. To this day, I can pull out a paper map. That's just one of them things that my dad told me to do. As soon as you get your own car, stop at a 7-Eleven, buy you an atlas map, and just stick it in the pocket behind your seat, just in case.
Sheesh. Listen to this, right? Because I want to shift gears a little bit. I'm thinking about, okay, all right. I'm thinking about this AJ Brown situation, right?
Yeah.
It's still been on my mind, but not because I don't want to move on. It's been in my mind because he was here recently.
Yeah, he signed the.
He was here recently, and I'm not sure what he signed or what he wrote or I'm not exactly sure where he wrote this, but he wrote somewhere.
Yeah.
Quote, "The best to ever play here, always open."
Yep.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. Instant reaction is whatever.
Got you feeling some kind of way.
My secondary reaction is, bro, why are you trying to?
Why you trolling?
Why are you trying to be difficult? Like, here's my thing, right? You know, we've been giving AJ a pass for a lot of stuff because, and let me speak for myself. I've been giving AJ a lot of passes lately because my main caveat has always been, did he lie though? That's
Facts.
been my angle. But did he
Yeah.
lie though? And sure, maybe he didn't lie, right? Maybe AJ said some things in the past, and maybe you didn't like how he said it or when he said it, but he didn't lie, right? There's moments where it's okay to just keep it cute and not say anything. It's a time and a place where it's okay to keep it cute and just not, not rock the boat. You got what you wanted already. You knew you was getting what you wanted already. Just you already pulled the LeBron James and say you take your talents to North Beach. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, New England, excuse me.
We get it.
He pulled
Brucini Island.
You already made it a spectacle after you got traded. You had this big interview with Maria Taylor, like it was. You did that. You did that. So now on the way out, because you left some things to the city, you came back to pick up some things. All right, fair enough. Yeah, we all see. This is the problem, right? Whenever people get out of relationships and they come back to pick up their things, they can never just grab their stuff and go.
No, they gotta suck their teeth and say something on their way out the door.
And that's what I liken it to.
Yeah.
Whenever a breakup happens and you leave stuff over the old work crib and you go back to old work crib and go pick up your stuff,
you got to say something.
You can never just not say something, can you?
Yeah. And
you always got to go in there, comment on something, knock something over, you always got to bring up something old. You got to remind people you got what you wanted already. You gone.
Well, you know why they do that, right? Because they want to try to position it to where they have the last word.
And it's like, AJ, I would never know what's going on in your head, brother. Quite frankly, I don't think I want to these days anyway. But it's like, at what point did this organization not show up for you?
Never. And that's part of the problem.
He can nitpick the fan base being hot and cold with him all he wants. But the reality is, Eagles fans know how they bread was buttered. They know. They can say whatever they want. They know exactly how they bread was buttered. And that was Jalen Hurts hitting AJ Brown down the sideline. So all them people who try to act cute about AJ Brown's tenure here and say, "Oh yeah, he ain't this, he ain't that." No, he was that. He was that. But
he was that dude without question.
So when I say that, what I mean is, AJ, you don't gotta represent the majority with the minority's opinions. And the majority is people knew what you brought to the table. This organization paid you well. This organization, you won here. You always got your numbers here. Like, you've been one of the most productive wide receivers over the past 5 years since being in Philadelphia, over the past 4 years since being in Philadelphia. And I mean, you still want more for yourself. Okay, fair enough. Take your career wherever you want to take it. But don't come back here and add insult to injury, if you ask me. Because it's some OGs who don't feel that way, who don't feel like he's the best ever.
Right.
Here. It's some OGs who've seen Harold Carmichael play. It's some OGs that seen Mike Quick play. It's some OGs that seen Irvin Fryer play. It's some OGs that seen rookie Chris Carter play. It's some OGs that seen T.O. My generation, we seen the Deshaun's, the Macklins, right? And again, AJ Brown is a freak in and of himself. He plays his position at a high level.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's one of the best guys I mentioned in that list, probably the best. But the reality is, the best ever play here, be careful, because there's guys who actually not only played here for the same amount of time you did, but they own multiple records in this organization. So does he.
Yeah, but nobody cares about the records anymore.
And
because he got the chip.
He does. And I'm adding that to the equation. I personally think AJ, like pound for pound, is probably top 3, top 2 in this organization all time to ever play. Personally,
Uh,
pound for pound, I
I
think.
would honestly, I would put him number 2, and the only reason is because my man Harold, the OG Harold Carmichael, has got that gold jacket.
And also, Harold Carmichael was a freak for his era. He was like
Correct.
6'8", 6'9",
Correct.
playing wide receiver and tight end. He was a freak.
And he didn't have the rules that we have today.
Exactly.
They were trying to tear his head off, literally. But here's the thing, because I had a show a couple days ago. I pretty much exercised that demon with AJ Brown. No, I don't think he leaked any information, but like I said, he gave us plenty of ammunition for criticism. He gave us plenty of that, and you ain't even got to lie on him. He gave us the ammunition he need, and I'm like, and I still stand 10 toes down. I didn't want to see him go.
Neither did I.
But if this is not the place you want to be, then find you somewhere else to be. Period. And he did that. So deuces, good riddance. Thank you for the chip. We appreciate your contribution, and we wish you the best. Except when you come back to Philly.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot since he's departed. And
yeah, but what I mean, honestly, what did you think was going to happen? The way, and I'm saying you got to put everything together. Looking in the macro, everything that happened ever since the Carolina Panthers game where he made the comment, the passing game's got to get better, which he didn't lie about. A lot of people use that and they forget the context of when he said it. Jalen Hurts played horrible that game. Carolina was terrible at that particular point. We should have beat them by 20 points. And we won that game, 15-13 or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So looking into the context, and you look at everything that happened from the time he went on the radio and talking about why does everybody think I'm ready to go, and from all of that stuff, reading books on the sideline, all of that, to the alleged stuff with the girlfriends and the wives and all of that type of stuff. Like, honestly, looking at the situation, what did you think he was going to do? Did you think he was just going to walk away and not say nothing? I didn't. He can't even not say nothing when things are going his way.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was going to get this messy, but ain't no way I thought he was just going to walk away and just not say nothing. Nothing was going to happen. I didn't for a second believe it was going to be like a clean break.
No, I knew he was going to say something. Right? And that something materialized as the formal interview he had with Maria Taylor, who did a good job. I think Maria Taylor does phenomenal work. And shout out to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, Carmelo Anthony's media company. I didn't expect, and remember, this is 2 weeks ago we're talking about when he came to the city to go to grab some things that he left. It just so happened the story came out today or yesterday, I think. But you did it. I'm definitely ready. Every time I'm ready to close a chapter on this, something else comes out regarding his tenure here. Well, and that's how it's designed, right?
Right. And that don't bother me in the least, what he signed and all of that type of stuff. Because the one thing that we cannot forget, regardless of what your feelings are for AJ, whether you for or against him, it's irrelevant. The fact of the matter is, the majority of people in that locker room still had a lot of love for AJ Brown. Period. So for him to do that means he legitimately wanted to say, I'm out. Let me dap some folks up the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Before the next time I see him on the field as an enemy. So I understand that because, again, he had good relationships with most of the people on that squad, Jalen included, because it sounded like him and Jalen got at odds for whatever the reason, whatever you want to believe, but they were at a situation where respect. You got a job to do. I got a job to do. Let's keep it moving. So it wasn't bad blood, but like he said, it ain't been great for years.
I mean, look, I'm getting to a point where I feel like for every person who had a good relationship with AJ and really wanted him to stay, I feel like there's another person who was like, look, I'm glad this shit is over with.
Absolutely.
Because,
that's fair.
And I think that's the fairest way I can put it.
That's fair. That don't mean you ain't boys.
Right. We ain't never got to dispute his production, dispute what he meant to the team from a personnel standpoint. That's indisputable. Right. But I firmly believe that there's probably some stars, some big names in that locker room too. One name in particular that I'm going to throw out there that he didn't officially say anything crazy, but like he said something that kind of showed me a crack in the armor was Jordan Mailata.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Mailata has been over AJ Brown for a couple years now. Here's why I say that. There was a moment, I think last season or year before, where something was going on with the offense. And I think Mailata was like, yeah, well, look, this ain't the AJ Brown show. This is the Philadelphia Eagles show. So this is he said something along those lines of, well, this ain't the AJ Brown show. This is we're the Philadelphia. He said we're not the Philadelphia AJ Browns or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because this is about it came up about the whole passing game and all that kind of stuff. Now he didn't say it to disrespect AJ, but it showed it took for me, it showed me a peek behind the veil of his
the train of thought was there.
The train of thought was it's ain't about him. It's about us. That was that was one moment. And I don't think Mailata was alone in that sentiment. I think they understood how fantastic of a football player AJ Brown was. And I think there was also people in that building that said, yeah, although he's a fantastic player, he's annoying as fuck. And he's a distraction. And as much as he's trying to make it seem like he's doing it for the better of the team, it can only be perceived that way but for so long.
Yeah, and also you got to remember, you don't your approval, with my opinion, is not required. So I'm sure in his mind, he had the team's best interest in mind, but it just don't always manifest like that. I know plenty of people like that. I've seen plenty of situations like that, whether it's at home, at work, on a team. Like you think you're doing the right thing, but you're not. And it's up to somebody around you to check you. Like, hey, I know you think you mean well, but you might want to reevaluate your next move. So at this point, like for me personally, I didn't exercise that demon. He gone, and he is not our problem anymore. You know what I'm saying? What happened to what when you go to the Super Bowl and you lose? It's so very difficult to get back. What happened to that? Because I ain't heard nobody say that about Drake May yet. And he just assuming that Drake May is going to be a great quarterback and get him the ball and do all. Okay. It's been too many people that have proven that it takes more than just a good quarterback or a good receiver. And you got to have a total package. Because Drake May ain't Tom Brady. You got to throw to somebody. Eventually, you're gonna have to run the ball. It takes a whole family to get that done. And people forget that very quickly because once again, regardless of how many times you prove it, people want the optics more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They want the optics. Drake, man, you got your ass kicked by Sam Darnold, bro. Sam the man Darnold. And he whooped up on you. You had one of the worst Super Bowls ever. So I can juxtapose that with how Jalen Hurts handled it in his third year. But we all know that. So just because the grass might be greener, but it still got to be cut.
Still got to be cut.
So there's no guarantee that AJ is just going to go up there and go for 1,600 yards and all this and all of that. Because what you think going to happen when they do to AJ what they did to AJ here, and they double him and don't let him go on the slants and do that. They know the book. They got the blueprint on how to slow AJ Brown down. They got that blueprint. And who's on the other side of him? Who's gonna give him the relief?
And look, I'm gonna be honest. I know we always preface it with this, but I feel like it's important that we always do. Like, we didn't want AJ Brown traded, right? We didn't. But the further we get out of this situation, the more I say to myself, Howie Roseman, he just may have been on time. He just may have been on time. Here's why I say this. Like, who knows? Health is sometimes unpredictable.
Right.
But back-to-back seasons, we're talking 2024 and 2025, where AJ Brown, he dealt with either that knee or that hamstring, and it was like lingering.
I thought the hamstring was worse than knee because I don't really remember him out because of his knee. I always thought it was a hamstring.
And here's the thing, right? What some people may have called lackadaisical effort, I'm gonna be honest. I felt like he was a tick slow last year.
Yeah,
I felt like he wasn't getting the same separation last year, and I feel like it was easy to chalk it up to effort or like just, oh yeah, he's giving up on footballs. I think I got this sneaky suspicion he actually just couldn't. He just lost a half a step. I'm not even going to say a full step
because that was the topic of conversation many weeks.
I'm never going to say a full step, a half a step. Because if you notice, someone on him and Jalen was a connector on the deep ball that much in the second half of the season, and especially in like that Chargers game or like in that San Fran game,
too.
Like we're talking like a fingertip, maybe two finger sections off. Like that's how that's my opinion though. It's super easy to say he lacked effort, and maybe he did in certain moments. But I think if I had to divvy up the percentage, I think it was about 70% can't do versus 30% won't do. I think how we roll, you know the old Bill Belichick adage: get out a year early rather than a year too late.
Right.
I wouldn't put it past Howie Roseman to, or just. Let me just say it this way. Like you said, it's not going to just be that simple for AJ Brown this year.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's just going to be as simple as, hey, he just goes in and just has. He's going to have opportunities. Let's make it clear. But I got this sneaky suspicion that he doesn't crack 1,000 yards this year.
I don't
want that. I don't want that for him. Because that doesn't serve me none. I want AJ Brown to be successful, but I'm factoring in just how nagging that knee and hamstring has been the past couple years. How I want to make sure I got this right here. In 2024, AJ only played like 13 games or 12 games, something like that. 13 games. 2024, he played 13 games, missing 4, and in 2025 played in 15 games, missing 2. And those injuries, let me look at his injury history.
Well, if AJ doesn't get 1,000 yards, I think it'll be for one or two reasons. Either A, he's hurt, or B, Drake May is just god awful.
Yeah, so here we are right here. So September 2024. Okay, here we are. So this is where it began for him with the Eagles. January 7th, 2024. That was the end of the collapse year. January 7th, 2024, AJ Brown left the Week 18 game against the Giants with a right knee injury. Remember, he didn't play in that playoff game against the Buccaneers. That's the game Smitty went off. But that's where the first knee injury happened in Philly. January 7th, 2024, against the Giants. Then September 12th, 2024, grade 2 hamstring injury. Missed 3 weeks. Then November 3rd, 2024, left the Jags game with a knee injury. Grade 1, unspecified strain. Then August 3rd, 2025, thigh and a hamstring pull. Then October 19th, 2025, hamstring. So it's been a healthy dose of the hamstring and knee the past couple years, and it's been nagging. It's been nagging, and New England, it get cold over there. It get colder up there. You get a little colder.
Yeah,
up there.
indeed. We'll see what he gonna do, man. It's. I kind of think I keep going back to the whole thing with Drake May, like, bro, like you were historically bad in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, and look, I'm not praying for his downfall. I'm telling you, I want to make that. I'm not praying for his downfall at all.
No.
I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, hey, listen, that's been a thing, and his game is bully football. His game is so physical. His game is so, he does a lot of, like, when he catches the ball. AJ Brown's favorite thing to do when he catches the ball is to stop
and go the other way.
Stop and go the other way. His favorite thing is to stop dead in his tracks and cut the other way. He loves doing that. With that hamstring and that knee, we'll see. Because he's a physical dude, and when you're that physical, guys aim low.
Who's on the other side? That's what I want to know. Who's on the other side, or is he the guy?
Oh, well, they got talent over there at receiver. They got Romeo Dobbs. They got Hunter Henry at tight end. They got and they got the other dude too. Let me see here. I think he just asked for a trade. Keishawn Booty.
What about
they got Mac Hollins over there as well, Demario Douglas. They got talent over there at receiver.
Okay.
They got talent for sure. But Keishawn Booty reportedly asked for a trade. And he's a good player.
But we'll have to see what they're gonna do, because again, this all comes down to what Drake May's gonna do.
Yeah, coming off of that Super Bowl loss, because it's not easy bouncing back from that. I think people just think, hey, if you made it to this point the year prior, you should make it further the year after. It's never that simple.
Never. Or that easy.
I mean, Joe Burrow and the Bengals haven't been back since they lost to the Rams in, what was it, 2021, 2020, something like that.
It hurt that you even brought that up, bro.
Yeah, I know. Who else hasn't been
my
back?
Bengals like that, man. But you know what? To that point, as good as Joe Burrow was, and as good as we wanted Joe Burrow, he's the homeboy. He's from Cincinnati. He one of our own. But the way we talk about these quarterbacks and these skill positions, man, everybody just thinks that you can just add water and shake and get you a championship, man. It is so supremely difficult to win a championship. It's hard to do.
See, what happens is people see we talked about this, right? The Rams and the Eagles are a fascinating case study because their approaches to building championship caliber rosters juxtapose each other. Obviously every team drafts, and every year teams participate in the draft. Every team does, and every team participates in free agency on some level, right? But there's always a philosophy that teams tend to lean towards in terms of roster building and sustaining success, right? And I think the Eagles, in particular, during the Nick Sirianni era, they've relied heavily on building in the draft, supplementing the roster with some one-year deals, and then having that one splash player they target, maybe. But primarily building and developing through the draft. Think about the way this team is constructed right now. Essentially, your entire defense was drafted and developed, except for what, Jonathan Grenard and Zach Bond. You didn't draft him, but you definitely developed him. So, I kind of put him in his own category as well. But as far as players that they did not draft or did not develop, and/or there's not many of those guys on his defense or on his team, or that's a starter, right? Defense is really only Jonathan Grenard on that defense, and Reek Willen, who they didn't draft or develop, and/or develop. On the offensive, who didn't they draft and/or develop? I mean, Saquon, okay, But other than that, you know, you got new guys in the building. We're going to find out what they do. Dontavion Wicks, Hollywood Brown, and other guys like that. But for the most part, this team has been built primarily through the draft and developed. The Rams, don't get me wrong, they've had their moments where they've drafted well, but for the most part, it seems like what they've done has really gone for the fences in terms of free agency, going for the fences in terms of trades, right? We seen what they did.
They got the guy. So,
right.
How many times do you get the guy?
I get it. It's just so
they still got to do something with it, though.
It's just so interesting when you juxtapose like their approaches, right? The Rams, them making it to a Super Bowl and winning it, like what they did to get there. You know, the whole "F them picks" mantra, and them not having a first round pick for years. And then when they finally started getting their picks back, you saw them starting to develop guys. They drafted guys like Byron Young. They drafted guys like Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, so on and so forth. Right? They did draft some guys. Drafted Puka Nacua, you know, giving him the keys. But I feel like I feel like they have been more prone to saying F them picks than the Eagles are. They're more willing to just let them picks go and go get a player and fast track it and take advantage of a timeline now. Whereas I think the Eagles are always thinking about now and future. I feel like the Rams, I just think the Rams and the Eagles, their window as far as the lens they look through differ in terms of size. Hypothetically speaking, if I had to give it an arbitrary number, I think the Philadelphia Eagles probably look at things from a 5-year window, 5 to 8 year window, whereas though the Rams probably look at things from maybe a 3 to 4 year window, 3 to 5 year window. I just think that they have a different perspective on timeline and what it takes to win in that timeline. Because going to get Myles Garrett is a win now move. I mean, you were just when
you get a Hall of Famer.
You were just in the NFC Championship. So you feel like you should feel like you're a move away. And was Myles Garrett that move? We'll find out.
I don't know, because Jared Verse, it wasn't like Jared Verse is chopped liver.
And it wasn't like they was I don't think they were struggling that much to get to the quarterback.
No.
So I mean, look, he's a player that's going to take your defense to another level regardless. I think they got better at corner with Trent McDuffie. I think their problem wasn't really speed, it was size. And I don't think Trent McDuffie really solves that issue for them. But Trent McDuffie is a talented player. He's a versatile piece. And he's an all-pro for a reason. 2-time Super Bowl champion. So I truly admire what the Rams do. They have a method and they commit to it, and they don't and they're not fearful. And you can always tell the GMs who've built equity within their organizations because of the moves they're allowed to make and how they're able to see it through, be it through success or through failure.
They still got to figure it out when they get up there, man. So we got a lot of things to learn. They got a lot of things to learn. It's not going to be easy. You know, he got with his boy. He got what he wanted. The pressure's all on him. You know, what did Tony Stark say in the movie? When they come for you, and they will come, it's all on you. It's all on you. So you got no recourse. You are the man. You have the expectations. And if for any reason those expectations are not met, the heat's coming down on you, AJ.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, everyone's going to be watching those two players in terms of their production. I think by the end of the season, the statistical comp that everyone's going to be looking at is the Drake May to AJ Brown connection versus the Jalen Hurts Devontae Smith connection. I think those are going to be two connections that people are going to really hone in on, regardless of the result of the season. And people are going to say who benefited them, who benefited the most from the departure. And the thing about AJ is his success is only tied to the numbers. If he gets his numbers, it doesn't make a difference, right? But if Jalen Hurts, maybe the numbers don't go up crazy, but they're still winning. They make it further. You know, I think Jalen has more avenues to prove that the departure didn't affect him versus AJ Brown. He has to get his numbers. He has to get his numbers. Otherwise, people want to say, well, I mean, these same numbers you was getting in Philly, and y'all was winning, if not winning more.
Right.
That's how you know, and it always goes full circle. That's how you know the issues were not football related, or primarily football related. Because the stuff he was dealing with, all right, players deal with that all the time on championship caliber teams. You got years that are more productive than others, but you're still a 1,000-yard receiver. Mike Evans, perfect example. Mike Evans had years where it wasn't exactly what he expected to be, but still was a 1,000-yard guy, believed in the vision, loved the organization he was in, and so on and so forth. So,
and eventually they got over the hump.
And eventually they got over the hump, got him a quarterback, and he won. You know what I'm saying? And he still stayed there after Brady left. Stayed there for like an extra 3 or 4 years, I think, after Brady left, right? So, this is one of those situations where everybody's going to be watching, and I think I'm really excited to see some breakout candidates in that wide receiver room. I think
Makai's going to be good, and I think Dontavian Wicks is going to be good.
Let's forecast real quick for some players, right? So Mekhi Lemon, for you, and chat, please get in on this conversation. I need to know what you think. In your eyes, what's a successful individual season for Mekhi Lemon? You can throw numbers in there. You can throw accolades in there. You can throw just impact. Like, what does a successful season from Mekhi Lemon look like to you? Describe that for me.
I need plus 700. I need plus 700. I would like to see 5 touchdowns or more. But I think for him, I think he's going to get in the end zone, but I think it's more important for him to move the chains. Because I think he is going to be a target when Mannion runs the too tight set, or I'm very interested to see what type of packages we use him in. Let me say it like that. Before I talk to you, I was watching Barrett. Barrett was talking to Dave Zangaro, and Barrett was kind of explaining the benefits of doing the zone read runs. And he was saying, you got one person, you got one zone. Whoever come in that zone, you got them. And he was trying to explain the differences between why people don't want to use motion a lot. But what the one thing is, once you establish that Mike linebacker, even if the Mike moves and you zone blocking, you block anybody that comes into your zone. So the benefit of the zone reads and the zone runs come into play when you do go in motion and you do change the formation late in the play clock. Because that's the other thing. If you do go in motion, and let's say because you went in motion, they're gonna stay in man-to-man and everybody shifts over, and now the weak side linebacker is not a Sam, or is not a Mike, and the Mike is not a Sam, depending on what the motion does. Now, can you get the new calls on the offensive line before they have to snap the ball up, before the shot clock is done, the game clock is done? That's the key with the motion. Now, what eases that is the zone reads, because now you go on and you block in an area, you're not blocking necessarily a man. So now it doesn't matter if the linebacker shifts late. It doesn't matter if a safety comes up to cover somebody and now you got too many in the box. You got a zone read and you block anybody that comes into your zone. It makes it real easy for you to figure stuff like that out. So when I see Mannion, using a lot of these San Francisco type offenses, and everybody under his tree, everybody under the Shanahan tree. There are very obvious similarities, but they work and they're hard to stop. Even if you know they're coming, they're hard to stop. So he knows what he's doing. Everybody else knows what they're doing. We just got to wait to see if it's going to manifest in the right way. Because I think they're taking the right steps. I think they're all saying the right things. I think we used to complain last year about them trying to make it too complicated, trying to get too cute. We're not going to have that problem this year. And it seems like Mannion is locked in. And it seems like if you want to compare it to Kevin Patullo was playing checkers and Mannion is playing chess.
You know what the problem was? Last year, like you said, they got too cute, but they also got too coy. They were cute and coy last year. Cute and coy. This year, they need to be bold and beautiful. Like,
bold and beautiful is only something that happens when you score a lot.
Like they've just been like last year they were trying to be cute, coy. They weren't being aggressive. They weren't trying to command games. They weren't trying to force the action or demand the result. Always seemed like they were always on their heels on offense. Seemed like the defenses were always a step ahead. And third and 12, and we're doing the inside zone or third. You got Devon Smith and AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley on this team. You can draw up a damn big Texas route and get Saquon something. You can do something. You could draw up a sail route for a tight end and get something going. You could do a dig. You could do anything, to make up a 10, 12, 15 yard. There's concepts out there for 10, 15 yard gains. And they was always settling for a bubble screen or whatever, something behind the line of scrimmage, something that was horizontal rather than vertical.
Right.
And that was they were too cute and too coy. This year, bold, beautiful, aggressive, see opportunity, take opportunity, trust your guys, go fall on your sword. Every pick isn't every interception isn't a bad interception, right? I can respect the interception if you see a guy one-on-one, you give him a chance to get it, and the DB
make a good play.
The DB make a better play than the receiver. All right, that's on your receiver.
Absolutely.
Because they still got a job to do. I think sometimes too often, I think Jalen Hurts, he tries to take too much on. And what I mean by that is like he's trying to be too much in control of the of the process, and that is pass and reception. Your job is to put the ball in a place where the receiver can get it. You got to live with that result, big dog. You got to live with that result because sometimes he can be a little. And that came up in an article recently with AJ Brown about him being reluctant to throw over the middle in tight windows, and the numbers indicate that that's not the case for AJ Brown in particular. So I don't know where that came from, but the reality is there has been a reluctance by Jalen Hurts in general to take risks with the football. I think that's universally known. That's not a secret. But
no, I think that's unfair though, because I know what the alternative is. And people say he's conservative with the ball to a fault. I don't necessarily buy that because I know how people get when you turn the ball over. That's the first thing they'll want to bring up. That's another excuse to get rid of you and everything that comes with that. So
that is a fair point.
Conservative play.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I can't deny that observation. But I think you and I can both agree that interception Jalen Hurts threw in the Super Bowl is a lot different than the interception Patrick Mahomes threw in that Super Bowl to Zach Bond. You get what I'm saying? That same Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts' interception, more like a glorified punt, right?
Right.
The interception Mahomes threw to Zach Bond, you just compromised your team. So, like all turnovers, I don't think no play is created equal, right? But that's a situation where, all right, Jalen, I can live with that turnover. The Mahomes, I can't live with that kind of turnover, and it's all about leveraging, like, cost and benefit. Is this where I should take that risk with the football?
Yeah, but the turnover thing sounds good in theory until you're actually in season.
I hear you.
The minute if and when Jalen Hurts starts turning the ball over, now we back to square one. Like he shouldn't be quarterback. Looks like Howie Roseman's going to be looking for a replacement, and you get all of that kind of stuff. And everybody's going to bring out the old receipts about when they said that Jalen Hurts wasn't a good quarterback anyway.
Mm. So you look at it. So you looking at it from the perspective of it don't really matter what he do. He ain't gonna be able to, because he still has a philosophy that he sticks to, and sure we expect him to gamble a little bit more this year, but you think overall people made their mind about Jalen Hurts already. They made their mind up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You still got people that hate on him and won't acknowledge that he been to the Super Bowl twice. They'll talk about everything else, but they won't talk about that.
I saw Dave Portnoy say, "Yeah, I'm so glad we got AJ out of Philly. He was just wasting his time up there."
Right. What does that mean? He got a chip.
Granted, he's a Boston guy, so I expect him to say stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, but
that's
a championship either. He got the chip.
That's
he
beyond
was a big
stupid though.
Contribution to us winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Period.
You know what was funny on a side note? Not really a side note, but Devontae Smith has been significantly more productive than AJ Brown in the playoffs.
Yep.
Significantly.
They don't bring that up though.
Like, it's crazy when you think about it, y'all. Like, I mean, I look at the production. I look at the production that Smitty and AJ Brown had in the times in the playoff games they've been here. And granted, Smitty got one more playoff game over. Well, actually, he got two more playoff games over AJ because AJ didn't play in none of those Buccaneers matchups, which is ironic. But Smitty has been by far the most productive receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. I think AJ has more touchdowns, but Smitty is going to crush. I think Smitty holds the playoff record for most receiving yards for Philadelphia Eagles receivers. So I think Smitty is going to continue to add on to his resume. He's already one of the most decorated football players that's active right now, having the Heisman, the national championships, the Super Bowls, right? He's got to add Pro Bowls and all pros on that list. But I think overall, I think there's a situation where if you're Smitty, you got to be chomping at the bit. You got to be excited about what's to come for you in terms of the opportunity. And, I just think it's one of those situations where it don't matter what happens. I think people are still going to have their strong opinions about Jalen Hurts. They're going to have their opinions about AJ Brown. It really don't matter. But I think Smitty, he's going to have plenty of opportunities. But back to what I said. So Mekhi Lemon, a successful season. You said over 700, about 5 touchdowns,
plus 700. I want touchdowns, but I'm not going to focus on touchdowns. I'm going to focus on him catching the ball.
Yeah, because you said for you, it's more important for him to be a chain mover than a scorer for you.
Yeah, I want him to be important.
Yes, and I think
want him to have impact catches, and that doesn't necessarily mean a touchdown.
Yes, yes, I can see that.
He can. You can make the play without making the play. I need him to be one of them type of receivers.
Mm.
He'll get the block downfield. He'll do the unspoken stuff, and he'll catch that 3rd and 6 to keep the chains moving.
I like what you said though. You said overall is more so about being a chain mover.
Yeah, impact.
And I think being a chain mover is equally as important as being a scorer.
Agreed.
Because if you ain't getting that ball, if you ain't moving that ball, you're not sustaining drives. And there's going to be a lot of situations where it's 3rd and moderate, 3rd and long, and you're going to see Mekhi Lemon at his best, operating in the middle of that field, just being surgical. You're going to see Devontae Smith at his best. But to your point, I think I'm going to up it a little bit. I think for me, because I do think 700 yards is that sweet spot, 700 plus yards. I'm going to say, for me, a successful season, first round pick, top 20 pick at that, right? They got him 21st or 20th. Or was it 19th? They traded up to get him, right?
Yeah. Thing with 19th.
Yeah, I think it was 19th as well. But Makai Lemon, top 20 pick. Yeah, he was picked 20. Top 20 pick, first round, wide receiver, the media cesspool that you're being thrown into in Philadelphia, all the narratives surrounding the situation. I think you got to have, in my opinion, McCollum minimum. I think he's going to do better than this, but 800 plus yards, 5+ touchdowns. I think for a rookie year, slot guy, playing with Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and all those guys, 800 plus yards, five tutties. I think that's a successful season. But I like what you said, though. Even if he's not getting the touchdowns, is he perpetually being a chain mover for the Philadelphia Eagles? I can live with that, right? If I'm averaging it out, if he can be a guy that can convert for you 3 first downs a game,
right?
And that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about it in the grand scheme of touches and everybody on that football field, and how often you see yourself in a 3rd and long situation or whatever it may be second and long, whatever. I think if Makai Lemon is converting 3 first downs for you a game, you multiply that by 17. What is that? 34, that's 51, right? That's 51 first down catches. I think he can be even better than that. Let me actually try to put it in perspective here and look up how many Smitty had. So Devontae Smith. All right, here we go. So Devontae Smith in 2025 had 44 catches for a first down. In 2024, had 49 catches for a first down. 2023, 47 catches. 2022, 59 catches. In 2021, 45 catches for a first down. A.J. Brown, on the other hand, A.J. Brown in 2025, he had 46 catches for a first down, 63 catches for a first down in 2024, 70 catches for a first down in 2023, and 61 catches for a first down in 2022. Bottom line is, I think it's a situation where you have to get, in my opinion, between 40 to 55, between 45 to 60 first down conversions from Makai Lemon. That's how I see it. Okay. And make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Coach is on his way back. He's working out some technical difficulties. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so yeah. Let me see what you guys put here, because I'm looking at some of you guys' numbers. I saw somebody put a successful season for Makai Lemon, 750 yards, 5 touchdowns, 55 catches. That's explosive. Let me see here. Somebody else said 800 yards. Somebody had put 700 plus yards. Somebody got 600 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. Somebody said at least 800. Dang Bergang said 65 catches, 900 plus yards, 5 TDs. Yeah, that's explosive. That's real explosive. But yeah, like, again, like I said, y'all, I didn't like the whole AJ Brown thing. I thought AJ Brown added insult to injury. Wherever he wrote the best to ever do it, all right, cool. I do think AJ Brown is one of the best to ever play wide receiver in Philadelphia, right? And give us the production that we wanted to see. Like, if anything, you know what I will say? I will say AJ Brown is probably the greatest opportunity not wasted in Eagles history. That sounds like that's very wordy, but I believe AJ Brown is probably the greatest opportunity not wasted in Philadelphia Eagles history. Because these organizations, they spent a lot of money, they spent draft capital to get him here. Right? They paid him multiple times, they paid him twice. You could probably throw Saquon in that category too, just given what it means when you sign a guy like Saquon Barkley. But AJ Brown is probably the greatest opportunity not wasted. I mean, what did he do while he was here? 4 years in Philadelphia, over 5,000 yards receiving, over 30 touchdowns, over 330 catches. He was a phenomenal player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty Mimi says, I don't think AJ knows how much we went to bat for him. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't. 24 Bird says, Tone, I get what you're saying, but I disagree. We should have had a dynasty. I mean, dynasties are very hard to maintain. They're difficult. It's very difficult to maintain, let alone create one. So, I know we feel like we should have, and we probably could have, but so much has to happen. You got to have a lot of people put their egos to the side for a dynasty to happen. You got to have a lot of people put their egos to the side, and you have to have a lot of stability. You have to have a lot of stability at certain positions organizationally. But yeah, this is what we're going to do, you guys. We're going to start to close the show out because Coach has been dealing with some technical difficulties, and I don't want to set us up again. So, Coach, any final words before we get out of here?
Nah, man, we got through mini camp. Heck, I want to say it's the end game now, but it's not. We just at the beginning, so it's just a wait and see attitude, and now is about the time where everybody in the media gonna start coming out with their lists. So
for sure,
you know how I feel about that. So we almost there, man. We in June. It came quick. I remember when it was, feeling some kind of way when we blew that opportunity with San Francisco. So it's just amazing how fast this is going along. We almost in June, halfway through June, and we about to be in July. And before you know it, August will be here. True training camp will start, and then we'll be ready to get started in earnest. So, it'll be here before you know it, bro.
Hey, you guys, on that note, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you are subscribed to Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge to the game. We really do appreciate the love and the support you guys provide every week. Make sure you guys tune in next week, same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central on Pro Fan Talk and Chalk It Up Sports. The Bald Eagles podcast is always going to be live and in full effect. And you guys know throughout the season, we give you guys 2 shows a week. One on game day for the pregame, and one on Tuesday to react to the festivities of football weekend. And on that note, he's Coach Marcus. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast, and it's straight like that. Fly Eagles fly, y'all. We out of here.
Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Moore Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game